What's up? This is Joe from DED. I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
All right, Joe, it's good seeing you again, man. I'm like excited for album number 2. First of all, Parasite, which is the latest single, is just intense. Like I thought your previous stuff was intense before, and then you dropped Parasite. I'm like, all right, these guys have a lot more coming. So let's talk about what can fans expect for this upcoming album, along with like Parasite.
They can expect. It's hard to say what they can expect, man. I think they can expect if they know the first album, they can expect some of those vibes, but just in a newer version of it. I think we were kind of in a box in that first one. We were making sound happen, and I think it's like that, but reimagined a bit, and just kind of trying a lot of different new things. Trying a lot of different vibes, a lot of different for me vocal stylings, and I know Parasite was intense. There's some intense songs. I wouldn't say there's any chill songs on it. It's a pretty broad spectrum of themes, though. I guess lyrically as well as like musically. I think we were a bit more broad with the things that the influences we allowed to seep into the music. So I just think it's good, man. I just think it's good music. So I'm just excited to be releasing. We got like 3 new songs out from the album. We got another one and a music video coming out in a little while, and we haven't announced that yet, but I'm talking about it. So that's coming, and then hopefully album details and release the album with that new song. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see what happens.
So as you guys got ready in the studio to create Parasite, because it is a heavier song from your previous material, like how much of the creative process kind of changed when you guys were making Parasite?
I don't think much changed as far as like, the music was made, and it gave me, because, we write music different ways. Sometimes I'll just have a vocal and then we'll have to write guitar for that, or, music for that. Sometimes the music's right there. So Parasite, the music was there. They had made the music and then gave it to me. And so it's cool for me in that sense, because it gives me like an environment to like live inside and like right to the sonics, right to what's happening in the music. So, that song definitely felt a little more almost industrial feeling a little bit to me, some kind of like Static X vibes or something like that, or like Rammstein a little bit. And so I ran with that, not that I don't think I sang anything like those bands, but I think it was just dark, and I felt like going real dark with the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. And, for some of the other ones, I live inside the environment that the music creates, and I try to pick notes and I try to write words that it makes me feel, that kind of thing. So, it's exciting to have that one. I love that one. I can't wait to play that live when we can jam again,
And that's what I was thinking. I figured like that is definitely going to be one hell of a song live. And it's going to be like, whether like mosh pits or just like people might even be jumping on the stage, because like that's, you want to rage when you listen to this song.
Cool, man. That's awesome. I'm happy that you feel that way. It was one of the earlier ones we did for the album, but it's still one of my favorites. So that's always a good sign to me.
That's awesome though. Do you feel like this song kind of like defined this new album, or was there a previous song that kind of started the idea of this record?
So there's nothing that defines it, because all the songs are, I think to me, all the songs are unique, different in their own ways. Parasite just, it's like a freight train song. And then we released a song called Eyes Sunshine and a song called Mannequin Idol. And so they're all a little bit different, but I think they all live in the same realm. They all live in the same type of place, and there's a bunch more music. I think all the songs, they're all related. It's like a family. They're all related, but that kind of thing.
So one thing that I loved about Parasite is that it's you guys released it at a good time too, because like while everybody is in this stay at home kind of order, like mental health has kind of hit a lot of people more than it normally does. And then for those that have never experienced mental health, maybe it's something that kind of kickstarted because of this whole era or this whole year. And I feel like you touch on mental health and like addiction with this song. Was there a particular like lyric or an idea that kind of kickstarted the idea of this song?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like, that's something that I'm always dealing with, mental health issues and things like that. Like, getting better and better about it, but I don't intentionally write about anything.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, the song kind of creates an environment for me to live in. And as I was writing the lyrics and stuff, I always kind of write lyrics from a place of not thinking. It's not intentional. I try to write for lyrics from just let it pour out from somewhere different and deeper than my brain. I feel like I can't trust my brain all the time. I can trust my soul, though. I can trust my gut. You know what I mean? So as I was writing it, it turned into me writing the song from the point of view of anxiety or of addiction or of depression or some sort of illness or something inside the body, kind of tormenting the person, kind of giving it a face or giving it an identity because it's invisible, So it's something that I've done is try to kind of visualize anxiety or visualize depression or visualize, whatever that is. And hopefully it's the same for other people. So it's kind of a sick way of doing it, but that's just how my art came out. It's a sick way of being like, cause like, I'm like doing like almost like a monster voice in the verse. And it's really like the sickness inside of you kind of talking shit to you saying, hey, I'm here. What are you going to do with me? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And again, even though it is kind of dark, to me, it's therapeutic. It's just dealing with it. It's just my way of doing it, I guess, and it's not a conscious thing. It's just what I did. So.
And as you mentioned, like it is a way of dealing with it. Do you have any challenges when kind of creating it because you're kind of opening up a little bit more to your fans with a song like that?
Yeah, well, I don't even know that anybody would have even known that the song was about that if I didn't say so, almost, So I do try to keep things kind of broad, lyrically, sometimes I don't, like our old song is pretty obvious what that's about. That's a little more literal, straightforward. And I'm not afraid of being a person, I'm not afraid of saying things about my life, like speaking about, anxiety issues or whatever it is, because I know that almost everybody, has dealt with that or will deal with it or whatever it is. Or they have their own shit that they're dealing with, that's my shit that I deal with. So
right.
I'm not afraid to talk about that. I think it empowers you to own the things that you are is empowering, to try to hide them, to try to be something you're not. I think that's, that's like to me, that's it's kind of almost like a weakness. I think to embrace everything that you are, talk about it, be open about it, own it, I think it gives you power over those things, so that's why I talk about it. And I'm just not embarrassed to be a human with shit, going on in my life. It's just, it is what it is. And,
right.
And everybody has, that's why we all relate, on music and things like that, because it's a human thing.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
So with this record, you guys jumped into the studio with Kevin Churko. And like, what has that experience been like with him? Like, with him and as the producer, and like, how has he kind of challenged you guys individually?
Well, it was awesome. I mean, he's just a great guy. I mean, off the bat, he's just an awesome person, good person, easy to talk with. We could talk for hours. We almost weren't recording music some days because we were talking so much, that kind of thing. He's awesome. But I think we kind of bring in a bit more of a chaotic, dissonant kind of side of things, and he's a bit more music theory. Like, we don't really know what the fuck we're doing. We're just making noise and it sounds like music, but he knows what's happening a little bit more. And so I think the two of us together is really great. And he taught, definitely showed me different ways to do things with my vocals, or to always have a focal point in the song. So if there's like a vocal and a guitar, and then if there's a break and there's just like, 3 seconds of nothing, give that, make every part of the song special. And I think that was, someone asked me that at an interview before, and I couldn't think of what one of the things was, but that was one of the things, is really to make every moment have a focal point, every moment needs something special for the ear to listen to. And I think that was something I've never had pushed to me so much, but I think it's so important now that I know about it. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, and amongst a million other things, because he's a fucking genius. So, you know.
Vocally wise, did he do anything different to challenge you for you know, either specific tracks or just like the entire record?
Yeah, no, I think so. And I challenged myself really. I you know, there were a lot of moments where there's just music and I was like, okay, I can do my super heavy, you know, screaming thing over this, or I can just try to do something a little bit different. And so I did that sometimes, of course, but I really challenged myself to try to find new voices. And he did the same thing, shaping my mouth, trying to sing, almost like mimic Johnny Cash for a minute and feel yourself, or, you know, or mimic whoever and feel that, and then, or try to make a weird noise singing more nasally or whatever it is. Like your music, your body's an instrument when you're a singer. And so there's, you know, there's a million ways to tweak it and all that kind of stuff. So I think he really did that. We recorded a lot of vocals and then, you know, kind of like put it together and see what works the best, you know? So that was something that I take back. I take from that.
And as you kind of like have more vocal ranges with this album, and you're kind of singing it differently, how do you take care of your voice in order to be able to maintain it instead of like ruining it at the same time?
I don't really take care of my voice. I don't really do much other than, you know, I try to take care of my body. So I try to work out, drink a lot of water, eat good food, sleep. I mean, those are things that you need to do for your voice, as well as, you know, it's like a muscle. So, you know, you just gotta like, you don't push it too hard. You listen to your body, you know, you're in tune with your body, you listen to it. So I wouldn't say that I like, you know, I've been singing for a pretty long time now. So I wouldn't say that like I lost my voice or any of that kind of stuff. Like none of that happened. It's all pretty organic, I think, for me. It just flows pretty good. I don't really do warm-ups or any of that kind of stuff, you know, like I just kind of just go with it, and hasn't failed me yet. So we'll see. You know,
since you guys have experience working with John Feldmann and now Kevin Churko, do you see a major difference between the two producers? And like, how do you feel like Feldmann made you a better artist, and how do you feel Kevin made you a better artist?
Oh, wow.
When you're on the spot.
Yeah. I respect them both immensely. You know, and John being in Goldfinger, which was one of my favorite bands kind of growing up and stuff. And John does things a bit more, I feel like in the moment, a bit more like capture the moment, drinks like 10 cups of coffee, you know, and then you know, gives me, you know, he's bringing me Thai teas and espresso and shit while I'm recording, you know, like getting real amped up and really just trying to just grab all the energy out of the room and out of the moment, and really just capture a moment. And so that's awesome. You know, like John's so special and so amazing. And I don't even have enough words to say how much I appreciate John. And the same thing with Kevin. I think it's a bit more methodical. I think it's a bit more like, you know, we think about things, we record it, we listen to it, we try a million ideas, chisel a little bit more laid back. And like I say with John, it's like coffee, intense, fucking, you know, go. I see the strength in both, and I appreciate both. And I think maybe a combination of the two is good, you know. And so I think that I brought all of my experiences in, as well as, you know, Kevin teaching me certain things. So I think they do work a little bit differently, but then at the same time, there's a lot of things that they do that are similar, just like, you know, any awesome person that knows what they're doing, they both are at the top of their game, you know. So it's really, I just feel insanely honored and lucky to have worked with both of them. Yeah.
And lastly, what has been the biggest challenge in creating album number 2?
The biggest challenge, like I said, it was so easy to work with Kevin and everybody at the Hideout, and being out in Las Vegas was cool. It was so much fun. I didn't feel like it was challenging, other than the fact of like, we would go record and then we go out on tour, and then we go record and then we go out on tour. And it was a bit exhausting, I guess, you know, all the travel back and forth. So that was a little bit challenging, but, you know, and I guess just the challenge, it really is only the challenge you put on yourself of like trying to respect people that like the band and wanting to do justice for them as well as do justice for yourself and make something that is true for you. So I think, you know, a little bit of that is in there. But I wouldn't say, to me, it was more challenging than anything. It was just, it was just super fun. You know, I love making music. I love being creative with people that I like. And, it was just, it's awesome. It's always a pleasure. I can't wait to do it again. You know, honestly,
That's
I do it
awesome.
every day.
Well, I mean, it shows, especially when you hit the stage. I could tell, you know, that passion that each one of you in the band kind of have towards like not just the band, but like your fans and the audience and everything that you're creating. So I can't wait for this album. And, you know, I still listen to the debut and I still love the debut, but I really can't wait to see what you guys are cooking for this one. And definitely a live show is needed again, because it's been way too long. But hopefully, you know, 2021, that could be something that, you know, fans can expect, whether it's a tour or even just like performances here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the moment we can, we will.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you again for taking the time, and good seeing you again, man.